from indentures freed. Strong his arm and keen his senses, he's a pirate now indeed. Here's good luck to Frederick's ventures, Frederick's out of his indentures. 22 now he's rising, and alone he's fit to fly, which were bent on signalizing with unusual reply. Here's good luck to Frederick's ventures, Frederick's out of his indentures. For the pirate ship, fill the pirate glass, and to make us one and very glad, the pirate run the pass. Yes, Frederick, from today you rank as a full-blown member of our band.
My friends, I thank you all from my heart for your kindly wishes. Would that I could repay them as they deserve.
What do you mean?
Today I am out of my indentures, and today I leave you forever.
What? But this is quite unaccountable. A keener hand at scuttling a Cunard, or cutting out a White Star, never shipped a handspike.
Yes, I've done my best for you. And why? It was my duty under my indentures, and I am the slave of duty. As a child, I was regularly apprenticed to your band. It was through an error. No matter, the mistake was ours, not yours, and I was in honor bound by it.
An error? What error?
I may not tell you, as it would reflect upon my well-loved Ruth.
Nay, dear master, my mind has long been gnawed by the cankering tooth of mystery. Better have it out at once. When Frederick was a little lad, he proved so brave and daring. His father thought he'd prentice him to some career seafaring. I was, alas, his nursery maid, and so it fell to my lot to take and bind a promising boy, apprentice to a pilot. A life not bad for a hardy lad, though surely not a pilot. Though I'm a nurse, you might do worse than make your boy a pilot. I was a stupid nursery maid, on breakers always steering, and I did not catch the word aright through being hard of hearing, mistaking my instructions, which within my brain did gyrate. I took and bound the promising boy, apprentice to a pirate. A sad mistake it was to make, and doom him to a vile lot. I bound him to a pirate, instead of to a pilot. I soon found out beyond all doubt the scope of this disaster, but I hadn't the face to return to my place and break it to my master. A nursery maid is not afraid of what you people call work, so I made up my mind to go as a kind of piratical maid of all work. And that is how you find me now, a member of your shy lot, which you wouldn't have found had he been bound apprentice to a pilot. Oh, pardon, Frederick, pardon. The two words were so much alike.
Rise, sweet one, I have long pardoned you.
They just sounded the same.
They were. They still are, though years have rolled over their heads. But this afternoon, my obligation ceases. Individually, I love you all with affection unspeakable. But collectively, I look upon you with a disgust that amounts to absolute detestation. Oh, pity me, my beloved friends, for such is my sense of duty, that once out of my indentures, I shall feel myself bound to devote myself, heart and soul, to your extermination.
Poor lad! Poor lad! Well, Frederick, if you conscientiously feel that it is your duty to destroy us, we cannot blame you for acting on that conviction. Always act in accordance with the dictates of your conscience, my boy, and chance the consequences.
Besides, we can offer you but little temptation to remain with us. We don't seem to make piracy pay. I'm sure I don't know why, but we don't.
I know why, but alas, I mustn't tell you. It wouldn't be right.
Why not, my boy? It is only 11:30, and you are one of us until the clock strikes 12.
True. Until then, you are honor bound to protect all interests.
Well, then, it is my duty as a pirate to tell you that you are too tender-hearted. For instance, you make a point of never attacking a weaker party than yourselves, and when you attack a stronger party, you invariably get thrashed.
There is some truth in that.
Then again, you make a point of never molesting an orphan.
Well, of course! We're orphans ourselves, and we know what it is.
Yes, but it has got about, and what is the consequence? Everyone we capture says he's an orphan. The last 3 ships we took proved to be manned entirely by orphans, and so we had to let them go. One would think that Great Britain's mercantile navy was recruited solely from our orphan asylums, which we know is not the case.
But hang it all, you wouldn't have us be absolutely merciless.
Well, there's my difficulty. Until 12 o'clock I would. After 12, I wouldn't. Was ever a man placed in so delicate a situation?
And Ruth, your own Ruth, whom you love so well, and who has won her middle-aged way in your boyish heart. What is to become of her?
Oh, he will take you with him.
Reverend Ruth, I feel some difficulty about you. It is true that I admire you very much, but I've been constantly at sea since I was 8 years old, and yours is the only woman's face I have seen during that time. I think it is a sweet face.
It is. Oh, it is.
I say I think it is. That is my impression. But as I've never had the opportunity of comparing you with other women, it's just possible I may be mistaken. What a terrible thing it would be if I were to marry this innocent person, only to find out that she is, on the whole, plain.
Oh, Ruth is very well indeed.
Aye, there also remains of a fine woman about Ruth.
Do you really think so?
Oh, I do.
Then I will not be so selfish as to take her from you. In justice to her and in consideration for you, I will leave her behind.
No, Frederick, this must not be. We are rough men. Rough! Who lead a rough life. Rough! But we are not so utterly heartless as to deprive thee of thy love. I think I am right in saying that there is not one here who would rob thee of this inestimable treasure, for all the world holds dear.
Not one!
No, I thought there wasn't. Keep thy love, Frederick. Keep thy love.
You're very good, I'm sure.
Well, it's the top of the tide, and we must be off. Farewell, Frederick. When your process of extermination begins, may our deaths be as swift and painless as you can conveniently make them.
I will. By the love I have for you, I swear it. Would that you could render this extermination unnecessary by accompanying me back to civilization?
No, Frederick, it cannot be. I don't think much of our profession, but contrasted with respectability, it is comparatively honest. No, Frederick, I shall live and die a pirate king. Oh, better far to live and die under the brave black flag I fly than play a sanctimonious part with a pirate head and a pirate heart. Away to the cheating world over, where pirates all are well to do, but I'll be true to the song I sing and live and die a pirate king. For I am a pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. For I am a pirate king, a pirate king. sally for to seek my prey. I help myself in a royal way. I sink a few more ships, it's true, than a well-bred monarch ought to do. But the king of the that's if he wants to call his crown his own, must manage somehow to get through more dirty work than e'er I knew. For I am a pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. For I am a pirate king. You are a pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. It is the wrath of a pirate king, the wrath of a pirate king.
Oh, take me with you. I cannot live if I'm left behind.
Ruth, I will be quite candid with you. You are very dear to me, as you know, but I must be circumspect. You see, you are considerably older than I. A lad of 21 usually looks for a wife of 17.
A wife of 17. You'll find me a wife of 1,000.
But I shall find you a wife of 47, and that is quite enough. Ruth, tell me candidly and without reserve, compared with other women, how are you?
I will answer you truthfully, master. I have a slight cold, but otherwise I'm quite well.
I am sorry for your cold. I was referring rather to your personal appearance. Compared with other women, are you beautiful?
I have been told so, dear master.
Ah, but lately.
Oh, no. Years and years ago.
Well, what do you think of yourself?
It is a difficult question to answer, but I think I am a fine woman.
That is your candid opinion.
Yes. I should be deceiving you if I told you otherwise.
Thank you, Ruth. I believe you, for I'm sure you would not practice on my inexperience. I wish to do the right thing. And if, I say if, you're really a fine woman, your age shall be no obstacle to our union. Hark! Surely I hear voices. Who has ventured to approach our open, inaccessible lair? Can it be Custom House? It does not sound like Custom House.
Confusion! It is the voices of young girls. If you should see them, I'm lost.
By all that's marvelous! A bevy of beautiful maidens!
Lost, lost, lost.
How lovely! How surpassingly lovely is the plainness of them! What grace! What delicacy! What refinement! And Ruth! Ruth told me she was beautiful. Oh, false one! You have deceived me!
I have deceived you.
Yes, deceived me. You told me you was fair as gold.
But master, am I not so?
And now I see you're plain and known.
I'm sure I'm not a jot so.
Upon my innocence you prey.
I'm not the one to plot so.
Your face is lined, your hair is
It's
grey.
gradually got so.
Faithless woman to deceive me, I who trusted so.
Master, master, do not leave me. Let me hear you go.
Faithless woman,
Master, master,
faithless woman,
master, master.
faithless woman to deceive me, I who trusted so. Faithless woman to deceive me, I who trusted so. What shall I do? Before these gentle maidens, I dare not show in this alarming costume. No, no, I must remain in close concealment until I can appear in decent clothing.
Climbing over rocky mountains, skipping rivulet and fountain, passing where the willows quiver, passing where the willows quiver, by the ever-rolling river, swollen with the summer rain, threading long and leafy mazes, dotted with unnumbered daisies, dotted with unnumbered daisies, scaling rough and rugged masses, by the hardy little lasses, till the bright seashore again, scaling rough and rugged masses, by the hardy little lasses, till the bright seashore again. Let us gaily tread the measure, make the most of fleeting leisure, hail it as a true life, though it perish by and by. Hail it as a true life, though it perish by and by. Every moment brings a treasure of its own especial pleasure, though the moments quickly die. Greet them gaily as they fly, greet them gaily as they fly. Though the moments quickly die, greet them gaily as they fly. Far away from toil and care, reveling in fresh sea air, here we live and reign alone, in a world that's all our own. Here in this our rocky den, far away from mortal man, we'll be queens and make decrees. They may honor them who please. We'll be queens and make decrees. They may honor them who please. Let us gaily tread the measure, make the most of fleeting leisure. Hail it as a true life, though it perish by and by. Hail it as a true life, though it perish by and by. Let us gaily tread the measure, make the most of fleeting leisure. Hail it as a true life, true life.
What a picturesque spot. I wonder where we are.
And I wonder where Papa is. We have left him ever so far behind.
He will be here presently. Remember, poor Papa isn't as young as we are, and we came over a rather difficult country.
But how thoroughly delightful it is to be so entirely alone. Why, in all probability, we are the first human beings who ever set foot on this enchanting spot.
Except for mermaids. It's the very place for mermaids.
Who are only human human beings down to the waist.
And who can't be said strictly to set foot anywhere. Tails they may, but feet they cannot.
But what shall we do until Papa the servants arrive with the luncheon?
Well, we are quite alone, and the sea is as smooth as glass. Suppose we take off our shoes and stockings and paddle! Yes, amazing!
Stop, ladies, pray! I had intended not to intrude myself upon your notice in this effective but alarming costume. But under these peculiar circumstances, it is my bounden duty to inform you that your proceedings will not be unwitnessed.
But who are you, Sir Speak?
I am a pirate.
A pirate horror!
Ladies, do not shun me. This evening I've renounced my vile profession, and to that end, O pure and peerless maidens, O blushing buds of ever-blooming beauty, I sought at heart, implore your kind assistance.
How pitiful his tale, how rare his beauty. How pitiful his tale, how rare his beauty.
Oh, is there not one maiden breast which does not feel the moral beauty of making worldly interest subordinate to sense of duty? Who would not give up willingly all matrimonial ambition to rescue such an one as I from his unfortunate position? From his position. To rescue such an one as I from his unfortunate position.
Alas, there's not one maid blessed which seems to feel the moral beauty of making worthy interest subordinate to sense of duty.
Oh, is there not one maiden here whose homely face and bad complexion have caused all hope to disappear of ever winning man's affection? To such an one, if such there be, I swear by heaven's arch above you, if you will cast your eyes on me, however plain you be, I love you. However plain you'll be, if you will cast your eyes on me, however plain you'll be,
Gentle sisters say, propriety we know, says we ought to stay, while sympathy exclaims, free them from your tether, play at other games, leave them here together. Her case may any day be yours, my dear, or mine. Let her make her hay while the sun doth shine. Let us compromise, our hearts are not of leather. Let us shut our eyes and talk about the weather. Yes, yes, let's talk about the weather. How beautifully blue the sky, the gloss is rising very high. Continue fine, I hope it may, and yet it rained but yesterday. Tomorrow it may pour.
hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why, that we shall have a one to like tomorrow it may pour again. I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why, that we shall have a one to like tomorrow it may pour again. I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why, that we shall have a one to like. But yesterday, tomorrow it may pour again. I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why, that we shall have a warm July. Tomorrow it may pour again. I hear the country wants some rain, yet people say, I know not why, that we shall have a warm July. Tomorrow it may pour again. I hear the country wants some rain.
Roll his soul in guilty dreaming, and wait to find that soul with peace and virtue beaming.
How beautifully blue the sky, the glass is rising merry. I continue fine, I hope it may, and yet it rained but yesterday. Continue fine, I hope it may, and yet it rained but yesterday. How beautifully blue the sky, the glass is rising merry. I continue fine, I hope it may, and yet it rained but yesterday. Tomorrow it may pour again. People say, I know not why, that we shall have a one to like. People say, I know not why, that we shall have a one to like.
Stay, we must not lose our senses. Men who stick at no offences will anon be here. Piracy, that dreadful trade is. Pray you get you hence, young ladies, while the coast is clear.
No, we must not lose our senses. If they stick at no offences, we should not be here. Piracy, that dreadful trade is. Nice companions for young ladies, let us desire. Too late,
Here's a first-rate opportunity to get married with impunity and indulge in the felicity of unbounded domesticity. We should quickly be personified, conjugally matrimonified by a doctor of divinity who is located in this vicinity.
We have missed our opportunity of escaping with impunity. So farewell to the felicity of our maiden domesticity. We shall quickly be personified, conjugally matrimonified by a doctor of divinity who is located in this vicinity. By a doctor of divinity who resides in this vicinity. By a doctor of divinity. Of divinity.
Hold, monsters, ere your pirate caravanserai proceed against our will to wed us all. Just bear in mind that we are wards in chancery, and father is a major general.
We'd better pause, or danger may befall. Their father is a major general.
Yes, yes, he is a major general.
Yes, yes, I am a major general.
For he is a major general.
He is hurrah for the major general.
And it is a glorious thing to be a major general.
It is hurrah for the major general, hurrah for the major general.
I am the very model of a modern major general, an information vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the Vice's oracle from Marathon to Waterloo I'm very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both the simple and quadratical. About my noble theorem, I'm pleading with a lot of news. Ooh, lot of news. With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
I'm very good at integral and differential calculus. I know the scientific names of means and annulus. In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general.
In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern major general.
I know arithmetic, history, in Arthur and paradox. I answer harder cross-checks, I have a pretty taste for paradox. I quoted elegiacs, solve the crimes of Heliogabalus. In conics, I can plot peculiarities, parabolas. I can tell undoubted raphaels from Gerardas and Zophanies. I know the croaking chorus from the frogs of Aristophanes. Then I can hum a fugue of which I've heard the music's dinner for. Ooh, dinner for. And whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense pinafore.
And whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense pinafore. And whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense pinafore. And whistle all the airs from that infernal nonsense pinafore.
Then I can write a washing bill in Babylonic uniform and tell you every detail of Galacticus' uniform. In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general.
In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern major general.
In fact, when I know what is meant by Mamelon and Ravelin, when I can tell at sight a Mauser rifle from a javelin, when such affairs as sorties and surprises I'm more wary at, and when I know precisely what is meant by commissariat, when I have learned what progress has been made in modern gunnery, when I know more of tactics than a novice in a nunnery, in short, when I've a smattering of elemental strategy. Oh, strategy. Strategy. Ah, I have it! You'll say a better major general has never strategy.
You'll say a better major general has never strategy. You'll say a better major general has never strategy. You'll say a better major general has never strategy.
For my military knowledge, though I'm lucky and adventuring, has only been brought down to the beginning of the century. But still in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general.
Still in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern major general.
Introduce myself, I should like to have some idea of what's going on.
Permit me. I'll answer in 2 words. We propose to marry your daughters.
Against our will, Papa! Against our will!
Oh, but you mustn't do that. May I ask? This is a picturesque uniform, but I'm not familiar with it. What are you?
We are all single gentlemen.
Yes, I gathered that. Anything else?
No, nothing else.
Don't believe them, Papa! They are all pirates! The famous pirates of Penzance!
Pirates of Penzance? Oh, I've often heard of them.
All except this gentleman, who was a pirate once, but who is out of his indentures today, and means to lead a blameless life evermore.
But wait a bit. I object to pirates as sons-in-law.
Well, we object to major generals as fathers-in-law. But we waive that point. We do not press it. We'll go over it.
An idea. And do you mean to tell me that you would deliberately rob me of these, the sole remaining props of my old age, and leave me to go through the remainder of my life unfriended, unprotected, and alone?
Well, yes, that's the idea.
Tell me, Have you ever known what it is to be an orphan?
Here we are again.
I ask you, have you ever known what it is to be an orphan?
Orphan.
Yes, orphan. Have you ever known what it is to be one?
I say orphan.
Orphan, orphan, orphan!
I don't think we quite understand one another. I ask you, have you ever known what it is to be an orphan? You say orphan. As I understand you, you're merely repeating the word orphan to show you understand me.
I didn't repeat the word orphan.
Pardon me, you did indeed.
I only repeated it once,
True, but you repeated it.
but not orphan.
Oh, stop. I think I can see where we're getting confused. Now, when you say orphan, do you mean orphan, a person who has lost his parents? Or orphan frequently?
Ah! Beg pardon. I see what you mean.
You said orphan frequently.
No, only once!
Exactly, you said orphan frequently only once! O men of dark and dismal fate, forego your cruel employ. Have pity on my lonely state. I am an orphan boy.
An orphan boy,
An orphan boy.
how sad, an orphan boy.
These children whom you see are all that I can call my own.
Poor fellow,
Take them away from me, and I shall be indeed alone.
poor fellow.
If pity you can feel, leave me my soul remaining joy. See, at your feet they kneel. Your heart you cannot steal against the sad, sad tale of the lonely orphan boy.
Poor fellow, see at our feet they kneel, our hearts we cannot steal, against the sad, sad tale of the lonely orphan boy. The orphan boy, the orphan boy, see at our feet they kneel, our hearts we cannot steal, against the tale of the lonely orphan boy.
I'm telling a terrible story, but it doesn't diminish my glory. For they would have taken my daughters over the billowy waters if I hadn't, in elegant fiction, indulged in an innocent fiction, which is not in the same category as telling a regular terrible story.
He's telling a terrible story, he's telling a regular story. They would have taken his daughters over the billowy waters. It is easy and elegant fiction to call it an innocent fiction, but it comes in the same category as telling a regular terrible story. It's easy and elegant fiction to call it an innocent fiction, but it comes in the same category as telling a regular story.
Although our dark career sometimes is an orphan boy.
He is a lovely orphan boy. And it sometimes is a useful thing to be an orphan boy. It is a lovely orphan boy, a lovely orphan boy.
On happy day with joyously we will away and marry thee.
On happy day with joyously we will away and marry thee.
Should it be fall auspiciously, her sisters all the bridesmaids be.
Should it be fall auspiciously, her sisters all the bridesmaids be.
On happy day with joyously we will away and marry thee. Should it be fall auspiciously, her sisters all the bridesmaids be. Should it be fall auspiciously, her sisters all will bridesmaids be.
Oh, master, hear one word I do implore you. Remember Ruth, your Ruth who kneels before you.
Yes, yes, remember Ruth, who kneels before you. Away you did deceive me. Away you did deceive him.
Oh, do not leave me.
Oh, do not leave her. Away you grieve me. Away you grieve him. I wish you'd leave me. We wish you'd leave him. Pray observe the magnanimity we display to lace and dignity. Never was such opportunity to get married with impunity. Though we give up the felicity of unbounded domesticity, though a doctor of divinity is located in this vicinity.
Pray observe the magnanimity, they display to lace and dignity. Never was such opportunity to get married with impunity. They give up the felicity of unbounded domesticity. No doctor of divinity is located in this vicinity. But they give up the felicity of unbounded domesticity. But they give up the felicity of unbounded domesticity. No doctor of divinity, no doctor of divinity, no God.
with your conscience to say something that would relieve my father's sorrow.
I will try, dear Mabel, but why does he sit night after night in this draughty old ruin?
Why do I sit here? To escape from the pirates' clutches. I describe myself as an orphan. And heaven help me, I am no orphan. I come here to humble myself before the tombs of my ancestors and to implore their pardon for having brought dishonor upon the family escutcheon.
But you forget, sir, you only bought the property a year ago, and the stucco on your baronial castle is scarcely dry.
Frederick, in this chapel are ancestors, you cannot deny that. With the estate, I bought the chapel and its contents. No, don't know whose ancestors they were, but I know whose ancestors they are. And I shudder to think that their descendant by purchase, if I may so describe myself, should have brought disgrace upon what I have no doubt was an unstained discussion.
Be comforted. Had you not acted as you did, these reckless men would assuredly have called in the nearest clergyman and have married your large family on the spot.
Thank you for your proffered solace, but it is unavailing. I assure you, Frederick, such is the anguish and remorse I feel at the abominable falsehood by which I escaped from these easily deluded pirates, that I would go to their simple-minded chief this very night and confess all! Did I not fear the consequences would be most disastrous to myself? At what time does your expedition march against these scoundrels?
At 11. And before midnight, I hope to have atoned for my involuntary association with these scoundrels by sweeping them from the face of the earth. And then, dear Mabel, you will be mine.
And are your devoted followers at hand?
They are. They only wait my orders.
Then, Frederick, let your escort lion-hearted be summoned to receive a general's blessing ere they depart upon their dread adventure.
Dear sir, they come.
Bears still, we uncomfortable feel, and we find the wisest thing is to slap our chests and sing tarantara. For when threatened with a mute and your heart is in your boots, there is nothing rings it round like the trumpet's martial sound, like the trumpet's martial sound. Tarantara, 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 tarantara,
Go, ye heroes, come to glory, though ye die in combat glory. Ye shall live in song and story, go to immortality, go to death and go to slaughter. Die and every Cornish daughter, with her tears your grave shall water. Go heroes, go and die. Go heroes, go and die.
Oh, to us it's evident these attentions are well meant. Such expressions don't appear calculated meant to cheer who are going to meet their fate in a highly nervous state. Still to us it's evident these attentions are well meant.
Go and do your best endeavor, and before our links we sever, we will say farewell forever. Go to glory and grace.
observe too great a stress on the risks that on us press, and of reference alike to our chance of coming back. Still, perhaps it would be wise not to carp or criticize, for it's very evident these attentions are well meant.
Yes, it's very evident. These attentions are well meant. Evident. Yes, well meant. Evident. Ah, yes, well meant.
Oh, ye heroes,
then why this delay?
All right, we go. Yes, forward.
yes, forward, on the boat.
Yes, but you don't go.
They go,
Yes, forward.
yes, forward, on the boat.
I mean, you don't go.
Unless they go, unless they go, unless they go, unless they really go.
Now for the pirate's lair. Oh, joy unbounded. Oh, sweet relief. Oh, rapture and example. At last I may atone in some slight measure for the repeated acts of theft and pillage, of which at a sense of duty stern dictation I, circumstance's victim, have been guilty.
Young Frederick,
Who called
your late commander,
And I, your little Ruth,
for mad intruders, how dare ye face me? Know ye not, O rash ones, that I have doomed you to extermination?
have mercy on us. Hear us ere you slaughter.
I do not think I ought to listen to you, yet mercy shall alloy our stern resentment. And so I will be merciful. Say on.
when you had left our pirate fault, we tried to raise our spirits faint, according to our custom, all with quips and quibbles quaint. But all in vain the quips we heard, we lay and sobbed upon the rocks, until to somebody occurred a startling paradox.
A paradox.
A paradox, a most ingenious paradox, with quips and quibbles heard in flocks, but none to beat this paradox.
A paradox, a most ingenious paradox. A paradox.
We knew your taste for curious quips, for cranks and contradictions queer, and with the laughter on our lips, we wished you there to hear. We said if we could tell it him, how Frederick would the joke enjoy. And so we've risked both life and limb to tell it to our boy.
A paradox.
That paradox, that most ingenious paradox, we quips and quibbles heard in flocks, but none to beat that paradox.
A paradox, a most ingenious paradox. A paradox.
however, I've no desire to be disloyal. Some person in authority, I don't know who, very likely the Astronomer Royal, has decided that although for such a beastly month as February, 28 days as a rule are plenty, 1 year in every 4, his days shall be reckoned as 9 and 20. Through some singular coincidence, I shouldn't be surprised if it were owing to the agency of an ill-natured fairy. You are the victim of this clumsy arrangement, having been born in leap year on the 29th of February. And so, by a simple arithmetical process, you'll easily discover that although you've lived 21 years, yet, if we go by birthdays, you're only 5 and a little bit over.
Dear me, let's see. Yes, yes, with yours my figures do agree. How quaint the ways of paradox, at common sense she gaily mocks. Though counting in the usual way is 21 I've been alive. Yet reckoning by my natal day, yet reckoning by my natal day. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am a little boy of 5.
He is a little boy of 5.
A paradox, a most ingenious paradox. A paradox, a curious paradox. A most ingenious paradox. Upon my word, this is most curious, most absurdly whimsical. 5 1/4. No one would think it to look at me.
You're glad now, I'll be bound, that you spared us. You would never have forgiven yourself when you discovered that you had killed 2 of your comrades.
My comrades?
I don't think you appreciate the delicacy of your position. You were apprenticed to us
Until I reached my 21st year.
No, until you reached your 21st birthday. And going by birthdays, you were as yet only 5 1/4.
You don't mean to say you're going to hold me to that?
No! We merely remind you of the fact and leave the rest to your sense of duty.
Your sense of duty?
Well, don't put it on that footing. As I was merciful to you just now, be merciful to me. I implore you not to insist upon the letter of your bond, just as the cup of happiness is at my lips.
We insist on nothing. We content ourselves with pointing out to you your duty.
Your duty?
Well, you have appealed to my sense of duty, and my duty is only too clear. I abhor your infamous calling. I shudder at the thought that I have ever been mixed up in it. But duty's before all. At any price, I will do my duty.
Bravely spoken. Come, you're one of us once more.
Lead on, I follow. Oh, horror! What is the matter? Ought I to tell you? No, I cannot do it. And yet at once your
Speak out! I charge you by that sense of conscientiousness to which we have never yet appealed in vain.
General Stanley, the father of my Mabel.
Yes.
He escaped from you on the plea that he was an orphan.
He did? Oh, yes, he did.
It breaks my heart to betray the honored father of the girl I adore. But as your apprentice, I have no alternative. It is my duty to tell you that General Stanley is no orphan.
What?
More than that, he never was one.
Am I to understand that to save his contemptible life, he dared to practice on our credulous simplicity? Our revenge shall be swift and terrible. We will go and collect our band and attack Tremorton Castle this very night.
But stay!
Not a word! He is doomed. Away, away, my heart's on fire. I burn this base deception to repay. This very night, my vengeance dire shall cast itself in gore. Away, away,
away, away, here I expire. I my duty hard to do today. My heart is filled with anguish dire. It strikes me to the core, away, away.
With falsehood foul he tricked us of our prize. That vengeance how the pirate's only sides. Our nature stern he softened with his lies. And in return tonight the traitor dies.
Yes, yes, tonight the traitor dies. Yes, yes, tonight the traitor dies.
Tonight he dies.
Yes, early tomorrow.
His girls likewise.
They will venture in sorrow.
The ones of spot.
In the natures they cherish.
And all who plot
to abuse it shall perish.
Tonight he dies, so early tomorrow. His girls likewise they will venture in sorrow.
the ones of spot and the natures they cherish, and all who plot to abuse it shall perish. Away, 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 tonight the traitor dies. Away, away, tonight, 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 the traitor dies. Tonight,
All is prepared, your gallant crew await you. My Frederick in tears, it cannot be that Lionheart quails at the coming conflict.
no, Mabel, no. A terrible disclosure has just been made. Mabel, my dearly loved one, I bound myself to serve the pirate captain until I reached my 21st birthday.
But you are 21.
I've just discovered that I was born in leap year, and that birthday will not be reached by me till 1940.
Oh, horrible! Catastrophe appalling!
And so farewell.
Stay, Frederick, stay. They have no legal claim. No shadow of a shame will fall upon thy name. Stay, Frederick, stay.
Nay, Mabel, nay, tonight I quit these walls. The thought my soul appalls, but when stern duty calls, I must obey.
Stay, Frederick, stay.
Mabel, nay,
They have no claim.
what duty's name calls forth my soul assaults, when stern duty calls,
Stay, Frederick, stay.
I must obey.
Leave me not
de-eyed shall be. I'll then return and claim you, I declare it.
It seems so long.
Swear that till then you will be true to me.
Yes, I'll be strong. By all the Stanleys dead and gone, I swear it.
For here is love, and here is truth, and here is food for joyous laughter. She will be faithful to pursue, till we are wed and live ever after. Oh, here is love, and here is truth.
Oh, here is love, and here is truth.
She will be faithful to her
We
suit,
will be faithful to
till
her
we are wed and even after.
We are wed,
And even after.
yes, even after.
Oh, here is love, and here is truth, and here is food for joyous laughter. She will be faithful to her suit.
Till we are wed, and even after.
She will be faithful to her suit. Till we are wed and even after. Even after. Oh, here is love, and here is truth, and here is love. There's love.
No, I am brave. O family descent, how great thy charm, thy sway, how excellent. Come one and all, undaunted men in blue. A crisis now, affairs are coming to.
Though in body and in mind we are timidly inclined and anything but blind to the danger that's behind. Yet when the danger's near, we manage to appear as insensible to fear as anybody here, as anybody here. Ta-dum, 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 ta-dum.
Sergeant, approach. Young Frederick was to have led you to death and glory.
That is not a pleasant way of putting it.
No matter. He will not so lead you, for he has allied himself once more with his old associates.
He has acted shamefully.
You speak falsely. You know nothing about it. He has acted nobly.
He has acted nobly.
Dearly as I loved him before, his heroic sacrifice to his sense of duty has endeared him to me tenfold. But if it was his duty to constitute himself my foe, it is likewise my duty to regard him in that light. He has done his duty, I will do mine. Go ye and do yours.
Righto. This is perplexing.
We cannot understand it at all.
Still, as he is actuated by a sense of duty,
That makes a difference, of course. At the same time, we repeat, we cannot understand it at all.
no matter, our course is clear. We must do our best to capture these pirates alone. It is most distressing to us to be the agents whereby our erring fellow creatures are deprived of that liberty which is so dear to us all. But we should have thought of that before we joined the force.
We should.
maturing his felonious little plans. His capacity for innocent enjoyment is just as great as any honest man's. Our feelings we with difficulty smother when constabulary duties to be done. I'll take one consideration with another. A policeman's lot is not a happy one. When constabulary duties to be done, a policeman's lot is not a happy one. Happy one. When the enterprising burglar's not a burgling, when the cutthroat isn't occupied in crime, he loves to hear the little brook a-gurgling and listen to the merry village chime. When the coster's finished jumping on his mother, he loves to lie a-basking in the sun. I'll take one consideration with another. A policeman's lot is not an happy one. When constabulary duties to be done, a policeman's lot is not an happy one. Happy one. Hush, I hear them on the manor poaching. With stealthy steps the pirates are approaching.
We are not coming for plate or gold, the story General Stanley's told. We seek a penalty 50-fold for General Stanley's story.
They seek a penalty
50-fold, we seek a penalty 50-fold. They seek a penalty 50-fold for General Stanley's story.
They come in force with stealthy stride. Our obvious course is now to hide.
With cat-like tread, upon our prey we steal, in silence dread, a cautious way we feel. No sound at all, we never speak a word, a fly's foot forward lead his king we heard. So stealthily the pirate creeps, while all the house will soundly sleeps. Come, friends who prowl the sea, truce to navigation, take another station. Let's merry piracy with the little burglary. Come, friends who prowl the sea, truce to navigation, take another station. Let's merry piracy with the little burglary.
Here's your crowbar and your scent of it, your life preserved. You may want to hit your silent matches, your dark lantern seas. Take your file and your skeletonic keys.
I see a light inside. The Major General comes, so quickly hide.
Yes, yes, the Major General comes.
Yes, yes, the Major General comes.
Yes, yes, the Major General comes. Tormented with the anguished dread of falsehood unatoned, I lay upon my sleepless bed and tossed and turned and groaned. The man who finds his conscience ache no peace at all enjoys, and as I lay in bed awake, I thought I heard a noise.
He thought he heard a noise. Ha
No, all is still in dale on hill. My mind is set at ease. So still the scene, it must have been the sighing of the sighing softly to the river comes a loving breeze, setting nature all a-quiver, rustling through the trees. And the brook in rippling measure laughs for very love, while the poplars in their pleasure wave their arms above.
Yes, the trees for very love wave their leafy arms above.
River, river, little river, may thy loving cross forever. Heaven's sweetly poplar tree, may thy wooing happy be. Heaven's sweetly poplar tree, may thy wooing happy be. Yet the breeze is but a rover when he wings away. Brook and poplar mourn a lover sighing well a day. Well a day. Ah, the doing and undoing that the roe could tell. When the breeze is out a-wooing, who can woo so well?
Shocking tales the road will tell. Nobody can woo so well.
great fear, oh joy, oh rapture, summon your men and effect their capture.
Beautiful Mabel, I would if I could, but I am not able.
He's telling the truth, he is not able.
With base deceit, you played upon our feelings. Revenge is sweet, and flavors all our dealings. With courage rare, and resolution manly, for death prepare, unhappy General Stanley.
Is he to die, unshriven, unannealed? Oh, spare him! Will no one in his cause a weapon wield? Oh, spare him!
Yes, we are here, though hitherto concealed. So to constabulary pirates yield.
We triumph now, for well we trow, your mortal careers are short. No pirate band will take its stand at the
To gain a brief advantage you've contrived, but your proud triumph will not be long-lived.
Don't say you're orphans, for we know that game.
On your allegiance we've a stronger claim. We charge you yield. We charge you yield in Queen Victoria's name.
You do.
We charge you yield in Queen Victoria's
Place them at the bar.
One moment, let me tell you who they are. They are no members of the common throng. They are all noblemen who have gone wrong. They are all noblemen who have gone wrong.
No Englishman unmoved that statement hears, because with all our faults we love our house of peers. I pray you pardon me, ex-pirate king. Peers will be peers, and youth will have its fling. Resume your ranks and legislative duties, and take my daughters, all of whom are beauties.